Most people think that the Australia that we see today is the Australia that we've always seen, but in fact, that's not the case.
My name is Professor Corey Bradshaw.
My name is Shimona Keeley.
I'm Nathan Jankowski and I work in the ARC's Centre of Excellence for Australian Biodiversity and Heritage, or CARBA for short. The Centre of Excellence is interested in understanding what's been happening in Australia over the past 130,000 years. How the landscapes evolved, how the animals in Australia changed and also went extinct over time, what people were up to, and how they coped with severe and seismic shifts in what the climate was doing.
CARBA is trying to tell the story of Australia from, before people got here with sort of the time of the megafauna, during the time when people first arrived. We see all sorts of, adaptations and innovations in the Indigenous communities that lived here during that time. Everything is interconnected, and so if we want to tell that story, we need a huge range of expertise and disciplines to look into that.
I am an environmental modeler. We take very complex systems models, we call them, and we do lots of simulations to see what the most likely outcome would have been. So what I do is I use mathematics to try to figure out what the future might look like from an environmental perspective, as well as what the past looked like. You need lots of different bits of information. That might be archaeology, it could be climate change, pollen cores, fossil data, paleontological data. So I use the numbers as kind of like gluing different bits of evidence from different fields.
The landscape is not a static entity, it changes over time. I use sand grains to tell how old things are. A sand grain can hold and store charge. When it's out in the sunlight, all that charge is reset down to zero. But when you put that sand grain into the landscape, what then happens is the charge rebuilds over time. So if you can figure out how much charge is in your sand grain, you can figure out how old it is and therefore how old the beach is that you collected the sample from.
For me and my research in Indonesia, we're going out and exploring different islands, going to these remote places. We visit the local people and investigate the past. I find that fascinating because it's sort of a really, really unique scenario in our species of the first time that people started to really travel by water and make use of the sort of seascape, I guess, of an island archipelago rather than being more based on, large land masses. There's so much yet unexplored. And so it's just a really, really exciting part of the world to work in, because every island we go to, no matter what we find, it's something new and significant.
I think the best things about the research that I do is really the level of interest I can maintain, because I'm constantly doing new, innovative things. I love being challenged and I love new disciplines.
Being curious, and you don't always know what you'll find, and you don't always know the significance of what you'll find until you've discovered it.
I get to go and do field work quite often. I get to escape from being confined within four walls, and I can go out and just be out in the landscape.
So if some kind soul or agency were to grant me $10 million tomorrow, I would pretty much put that into salary for people to work with me, specialize in certain areas that we can group together into these bigger, complex systems approaches.
I would invest in my own research vessel to conduct research throughout the Indonesian archipelago. Then we could easily get to the sites that we want to go to. We'd have our own accommodation with us, and we could easily transport the material back to Australia without paying a fortune in shipping costs.
I would spend a lot of money attempting to do up the Discovery Centre at Lake Mungo, because it needs to be updated.
I love going up to my parents' property up north and just chilling out by the river. I love cooking in the kitchen, and I enjoy riding my bike and bushwalking.
By and large, it's me and my code and my death metal. That's a typical day.
I sort of have a second existence as a group fitness instructor. So I actually teach a spin class. I'm out along the beach on a bike, or probably at the moment cooking sourdough in my kitchen.